welcome, race fans. Once again, we are gathered here on a Monday night. The Race Sim Nation Halls on Post Monday Night All-Pro Series, Tracy. And I'll tell you what, we got 10 lucky ones on the track here tonight. Bowling is here, Samanto's here, James Gregate's here, and I'll tell you what, we're at Race Sim Nation. What do they call this place? RSN Raceway Park. We have no idea what city it's in, but hell, make one up. It's there.
You just possibly said what city was in there, JD.
There you go. But I'll tell you what, we're set for, I believe, well, let me check the numbers here. I think we're set for 125 laps here at RSN Raceway Park. So I'll tell you what, in the house with me tonight, you just heard of Tracy Flip Robinson. Of course, Jesse James calls him the legend on Sunday nights. John, the bad boy wrestling, pushing the buttons on the cameras for us tonight. And Tracy, you know, last time we're here, well, let's get to that in a minute. Why don't we go ahead and take everybody down through the points, and we'll let everybody know who's who and who's where here in the Monday Night Halls on Post All-Pro Series. And starting out at the top, Dwayne Hall still holding down the fort up there, and 246 points to the good side. James Gregate, tell you what, climbing the ladder this week, up 2 positions. We talked to him in the winner's circle last week, looking for a third one here tonight. So he's tied with Dwayne Hall, Tracy.
Yeah, I tell you, we had quite a race last week. It really shifted up those points position. But running around in third right now is at 22 of Frankie Samanto. Tell you what, he's holding strong in third position with 245 points. He's only 1 point behind James Gregate and Dwayne Hall. And in fourth position right now, losing 3 spots last week. 21 of Tony Bolin had a horrible week last week. Actually damaged his car quite a bit. Didn't get a good finish. He's got 235 points, and he's 11 points behind our leader.
You bet. And I'll tell you what, one more thing about Tony Bowling. Tony Bowling finished in the top 5 here at RSN Raceway Park last time out here. In 5th position, Larry Mulligan. I'll tell you what, he was the car to beat here a couple of weeks ago. His night didn't turn out so well either, but Larry Mulligan, 17 points behind the leader. Who's going to finish second? Hal Beardwood. Tell you what, podium finish last time out here on ETV Live, 33 points behind the leader. Hal Beardwood also finished in the top 5. In fact, he finished 5th here last time out.
And in 7th spot, losing a place this week, is a 33 of Jerry Hinkle. Jerry Hinkle just couldn't quite get a grab of the track last week, and he's got 211 points, and he's 35 points behind our leader. And an A spot back in 1 spot, too, is a 49 of Frank Jockman with 207 points, and 39 points behind our leader.
You bet. And sitting in 9th position, guys, not moving anywhere this week. They call him the counselor, number 34 car, Joe DePino. He's 45 points behind the lead. He's on the track here tonight. And then bring up the bottom here, the rounding out the top 10, Lance Walker, no movement this week, 54 points behind the lead, and looking to put something together here at Raceway Park. In fact, I don't even think he's in the I don't see him on the roster here tonight, guys. So Lance Walker not at RSN Raceway Park tonight, but I tell you what, last time we were here, Tracy, Ben Banda won. He led all of most of the laps here, all but 31 of them, and Kyle Lent led 31. James Gregate, he finished in the about the middle of the pack last time out here. Remember, he's had back-to-back finishes here at RSN here at the Nation the last couple of weeks, but only finished 12th last time out here at RSN Raceway Park.
Yeah, it should be interesting for James Gregate out here at RSN Raceway Park. Having a bad finish last time, possibly, I don't think we were here, JD, to actually broadcast that race. But the only thing I can think of is pushed the car a little too hard, got him to that outside wall, and damaged the car to where it fell back.
Hey man, I'll tell you what, RSN Raceway Park, 3/4 mile track, guys, 96 laps on fuel. We won't get that far on tires, so look for pit stops somewhere in the 60 to 70 lap range. And then, you know, word has it down there in the garage that guys are looking out for right rear tires, possibly some excessive heat issues with them. And if that happens, look for some pretty loose cars going into the turns here, and loose conditions coming off. So 3/4 mile track, and we are getting set to go. So I'll tell you what, why don't we go ahead and we'll take it on down trackside. I believe the Cactus Cuties are standing by to present our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right, and we are back live. I'll tell you what, guys, you know, I haven't heard a better rendition of the national anthem that has come out of the mouths of those young ladies, 4 of them, ages 11 to 16. And I'll tell you what, just fantastic sounding young ladies. Starting out on the pole here tonight, guys, I'll tell you what, Dwayne Hall, track master here at the Nation, 22,496. Outside him on the front row is going to be the 22 car, Frankie Samanto for Dragon Motorsports.
And starting in third position tonight with that 27 of Larry Mulligan. And starting outside of him in fourth position, the number 3 of Hal Beardsworth.
And starting in the middle of the pack here in the 5th position on the inside, James Greegate. He's got back-to-back wins here at the Nation already. Outside him, Brian Stewart in that number 20 machine starting in 6th.
And starting in 7th position tonight, the 21 of Tony Bowling. And starting outside of him, in 8th position, the 14 of Jody Johnson, our ET reporter.
You bet. And bringing up the last row here on the inside, the 33 car, Jerry Hinkle. Jerry Hinkle doing a fantastic job, having an outstanding season. Outside him, a young Italian boy from Chicago. They call him the counselor. Number 34 car, Joe DePino. So I tell you what, Dwayne Hall up here on the pole. We haven't seen him this far forward in a long time. So we'll see what Hall's got for these boys. Now, the last time out, Dwayne sat out, watched from the stands, and had a good time up there. But he's on the track in the cockpit of a car here tonight. So we'll see what he can do. Now, as we said last time out here, Tony Bowling, Hal Beardsworth both finished in the top 5. James Greegate, who won last time here last week, only finished in 12th. So we'll see what these guys can put together as we get set to go racing here at RSN Raceway Park, Tracy. Yeah,
I tell you, for a lot of people out there watching, this will be the first time you've ever seen this track. Very raceful track, fun to watch the races on. Enjoy. This is one of Dwayne Hall's special tracks he built himself that looks like it puts on a great race, guys.
You bet. Coming off turn 4, pace car already down on pit road, and we're set to go green flag racing. Dwayne Hall's going to pick it up.
Green flag, go, go, go,
Flagman's got it out, and we're off and running here at RSN Raceway Park. Dwayne Hall's got the lead, early lead here, but I tell you, don't count out that 22 car. Frankie Samanto trying to pushing here a little bit on the outside, but can't make it happen. But tell you what, it takes a few laps to get these things warmed up and settled in here. As here comes Hal Beardsworth up on the outside of Larry Mulligan.
Yeah, I tell you what, JD, I'm watching him go through these corners. Track that you actually can use that section below that white line. A lot of the tracks you go to, if you put 2 tires down there, you're going to spin out, but this track actually promotes you getting down there, using that line to get around the corner. And I was watching Frankie Simano in practice. He left happy hour being the fastest car out on the track, JD.
Yeah, I'm back here in 9th position, guys, keeping an eye on Jody Johnson, that 14 car. Looks like he might have been having early problems here. Got into the turn a little bit hot, had to take that car almost up to the wall, but it looks like he's got a better handle on it now. He tucks it right down against the apron line down there, coming off of turn 2. Down the backstretch he goes. Jody Johnson, that 14, driving for DB Tech Services. I'll tell you what, he's the ETV Live journalist. He takes care of all the weekly headlines over there at the Nation, and does a little bit of work for John over here at the ETV ePlay site. So Jody Johnson on the track here, guys. Yeah,
I'll tell you, great line these guys are running. I see what you're talking about, Jody Johnson's car. Looks like he might be over driving the corner a little bit, and I've been in that position where you watch these guys in front of you pull away, so you start over driving the corner and really pushes out as Jody Johnson pushes wide, and now the 34. Joe DePino gets down under and would take over that position.
And let's take it on forward here just a little bit. Hal Beardsworth, he's sitting in the 5th spot up here, guys. That's the number 3 Goodwrench car here. Hal Beardsworth with a 5th place finish last time out here at the park. And tell you what, Hal Beardsworth, I believe, Tracy, he had a podium finish last week. I don't remember which position it was. But Hal Beardsworth coming alive. He's sitting 6th in the points, up a couple of positions this week, guys. So look for Hal Beardsworth to put it together here at the park tonight, too.
Yeah, I think it was Hal got around Dwayne Hall to take over that 2nd position there last week, as Dwayne's car was really falling off, as he told us he got up into the wall and flattened out that right front fender, which, you know, gives you a little ill effects. But yeah, Hal Beardsworth doing a great job getting 2nd place right now. These guys look like they're waiting for other cars to start pushing up high there. As tell you, Frankie Simano giving a lot of pressure to Dwayne Hall right now.
Yeah, he is. I'm watching the 22 and the 55 up here in front, and Mama Dragon, she's calling him Sneaky Dragon, Frankie Sneaky Dragon. But I'll tell you what, Frankie, he's staying right with that 55 machine of Dwayne Hall up here. You know, was over at the Nation website here just a little bit ago, Tracy, and Dragon Motorsports holding down the fort in the Wednesday night team series. I'll tell you what, hats off to that crew, Dragon Motorsports, and of course Wendy Bernard, the new leader, the head dragon over there, has a 22 car going for a pass here, and I'll tell you what, 8 laps in the books here, going for the pass. 55 car up on the outside. Samato's pushing it hard down here on the bottom. Can't get away with it as Dwayne Hall hangs on to the lead. But I'll tell you what, Samato is not going to give it up. But, you know, once again, hats off Dragon Motorsports. They're the points leader over there on the Wednesday night team series. So I'll tell you, you know, and they're out here tonight. Frankie Samato, Larry Mulligan. I believe there's one missing here. But I'll tell you, you know, doing an outstanding job over there on Wednesday nights, Tracy.
Yeah, Larry Mulligan, he got up there, tapped that outside wall a little bit there, JD, to enter a corner, and ended up pushing wide, allowed James Greegate, who was all over his back bumper, take over that 3rd position. And you know what happens? Once you get pushed up in the corner, everybody starts freight training in the bottom. And so following Hal Beardsworth was the 21 of Tony Bowling, and looking now is the 20 of Stewart, trying to look to get by him. And he's got Jerry Hinkle over the back door, about over his back bumper right now, too, JD.
Yeah, you bet James Greekgate move him up a couple notches. Qualified in 5th here, worked himself up in the 3rd. Is 22 car going after that 55 again, and I'll tell you what, score 1 for the 22 machine. But I'll tell you what, Dwayne Hall hanging tough up here on the outside, and he can't. I know he can't keep that action up, you know, too terribly long on that outside lane, Tracy. He was the one I spent some time in the garage. It's caution coming out. Beardsworth going around, guys. See if we can't bring it back up on the replay here. Number 3 car, Hal Beardsworth going around here, bringing the first caution out at
Road's closed.
RSN. All right, and I think John's got it up on the E-Play machine.
I believe you're going to see Tony Bowling give Hal Beardsworth a bump and run, and Hal Beardsworth lost the battle here, guys. We're going to watch him. So he coming to the corner here. He's trying to make a move on the outside of James Greegate. Then he comes back down a little bit, and Tony Bowling just can't get out of the gas fast enough, and Beardsworth's going to slam her in that driver's side door. Not a whole lot of damage to that Goodrich 3 Chevrolet of Hal Beardsworth, but we know how. He's going to come back and in full force.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell you what, that old banana peel coming out, and for that number 3 car again, I thought he shed that that little yellow fruit here a while back, but just sitting there watching it again in my monitor, and looks like Tony's getting there a little bit hot, but I tell you what, it was a gaggle of cars up there to start with, so really nothing, nowhere to go. Short track racing, guys, 3/4 mile track, so hey, you get the attitude, check it at the door. You ain't gonna need it here tonight. So first caution coming out here at the park on lap 14, and I imagine we'll probably get everybody down pit road.
Yeah, get out there, get the fresh tires. You know, it's not we haven't had time to talk to them. Don't know how many guys who actually use scuffs out here on this track. But yeah, I was watching that, and Hal Beardsworth actually got to the outside of the 7 of James Greegate heading down the front stretch, and looked like he was just trying to get back down on the low side behind James before the 21 of Tony Bolin filled that spot. And, you know, when you're trying to get behind a car you're slightly beside of, you're going to have to brake a little harder, and unfortunately Tony Bolin couldn't get it wound up soon enough.
You bet. I'll tell you what, first one coming out here, why don't we go ahead and we'll break away for a quick 30-second break here. You're watching live ETV Live. It's the only choice, Cowboy. The Halls on Post Monday Night All-Pro Series at the park. Don't wander off. We'll be right back. Hey dude, are you ready to rock and roll? If that's cool, then you need to do it over at HD Radio Network. HD Radio Network, 4 stations broadcasting 24/7 with everything from metal favorites to the 80s classic rock like legendary Leonard Skinner, Electric Light Orchestra, Foreigner, and bone-rattling, skull-crushing rock and roll on hard driving radio. And partnered with Nuff World Simulation Gaming, check out the HD Radio Network's Nuff Radio with Bear Factory, Stone Temple Pilots, Def Leppard, and a whole lot more. HDRadionetwork.com. Take your pick and rock your brains out, dude. All right, we are back live, RSN Raceway Park with the Halls on Post Monday Night All-Pro Series. We just got the one to go here, Tracy. First caution coming out here on lap 14, I believe it was, number 3 car getting a little help from the 21. So we'll be looking for possibly some payback as Frankie Simonto gets ready to take that green flag this time out. Dwayne Hall got shuffled back in the pits, back to third. Greegate up to second. So off on a green flag start here. Looks like Simonto gave a little bit of the bumper to Greegate. Greegate might have been a little late on the gas pedal.
Yeah, I tell you, sometimes it don't take much for somebody to help give you a little push, get you started. And I'm watching Tony Bowling working to try to get around the 20 of, I think it's either Brian Stewart. I keep forgetting, JD.
Yeah, I believe it's Bryant Stewart out there in a 20 machine. Tony Bowling up there on the outside trying to put something together there. But Tony looked like he was trying to make a move to the front when he got connected up with the 3 machine of Hal Beardsworth. So we'll keep our eye on Tony Bowling. Remember, he was a top 5 finisher last time out. But I tell you what, pretty much single file all the way back here. Guys are trying to find their line. Tony's stuck up in there on the outside trying to get around Bryant Stewart, that 20 machine still. That's pretty much where the racing action's at, guys.
You had Hal Beardsworth making the move on Jody Johnson, getting around him, pretty much really putting the power down, fairly aggressive on the exit, looked like, pretty guys. Look for Hal Beardsworth maybe to, he's not too far off that 21 right now, JD.
That's what I was getting ready to say, guys. Let's see what old Hal Beardsworth gives Tony Bolin when he gets caught up here.
Yeah. You got that right. I'll tell you what, Hal Beardsworth, you know what, he can put it together on a short track up here, so we'll see what happens when he gets up there. We'll keep our eye on that as he gets close. 20 machine up on the outside, and I'll tell you what, Beardsworth just counting them down here, pulling them off side by side with the 20 machine. He's got to get by him first, clear the 20, and then get up to the bumper of that 21 machine up there.
Yeah, Hal get into that corner pretty hard there next to the 20. Seen him light that tire up, a little bit of smoke, and push up and a hair in the center, but was able to gather it back up and get back into the throttle, guys. Yeah, Hal Birch was running that car pretty dang hard here real early in the race.
Now, last time out, Hal Beardsworth finished 5th to Tony Bolling's 4th place finish here at the park. So I wonder if that's what we're set up to do here tonight. So we'll keep an eye on those two for sure.
Unfortunately, every time he comes into corner 3, you can see his skid marks all the way to the wall.
I'll tell you what, it's time to check over here in a fan interaction here. Checking over here on the chat page, live chat page here on ETV Live. And I see a whole bunch of us logged in over here. Angela Hall in the house. Let's get to her here in a minute, but I want to say good evening to Kenny Matthews. Danny Gabaldon in the house, and I tell you what, bud, I miss you. I miss seeing that car, that 62 machine out there on the track. You need to get back over here and get fired up and get back to racing over here. And then, of course, Mama D, Mama Dragon in the house over there. We talked about her and her team. Done an outstanding job over the last couple of seasons. Moved her team from basically about mid-pack or the bottom to the top here on Wednesday nights. And, of course, we do have the Nuff World crew with us, as they're all here over there in the house. Howdy Nuff World, and I don't know who SB is, but I think that might be Sean Brown. If an old Georgia boy, glad to have you along for the ride tonight. So I tell you what, some hot action here at the Raceway Park, 3/4 mile track, and 26 of them in the books already, 125 on board tonight, Tracy.
Yeah, I tell you, Frankie Shimano's out there in the lead and actually getting a pretty good distance ahead of James Greegate. These two cars running some really good times. They've almost got a 4/10 of a lead here at RSN Raceway track. That's doing pretty good. I know Frankie Shimano, he's been putting quite a bit of time in getting these cars set up to run really good here at the track.
You know, Frankie Shimano is probably the king of practice laps. I bet he's probably got about 500,000 practice laps on any given track under his belt. And he can certainly get the job done. He's certainly holding off James Greegate, but Greegate inching closer and closer here. Now remember, the last time out, Greegate didn't have such good luck here at the park. So, you know, I'm wondering if his team didn't get together, his crew chief, and work on that number 7 machine down here for Halls on Post. But I tell you what, we'll keep an eye on James Greegate. I believe we saw the same thing out of him last time here. He got up to the front, and then about halfway through the race, Tracy, pretty much went backwards and wound up finishing in the middle.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of wondering if maybe he got up and rubbed that wall. I was kind of to compare a little bit of lap times here. We've got Frankie Shimano running a 23.0, and James Greegate's last lap right behind him with a 22.9. So these guys are very close. We're talking thousandths of a second difference in time.
You bet. And I'll tell you what, I want to get back over here to Angela Hall. Hall's on Post. It is tax season, guys. So Angela Hall, she's in the house over here, and maybe we can get her up here in the booth to talk about what people need to do to get prepared for taxes. If we can get her logged in here, of course, she may be working too, for all I know. But I'll tell you what, Hall's on Post, accounting, taxes. You can get a hold of Angela Hall over there, hallsonpost.com. And Angela, if you put up your company phone number up there in the chat room, we'll broadcast it live here on ETV. So, all right, and of course you can see it up there on the ad panel. We've got
JD, watch the monitor. God, I just bought you a $1,200 dang monitor, and you're not even using it. Come on.
Yeah, but that one doesn't work. If I do that one and have the live monitor here for the race, then you know what's going to happen. I might be able to pull it up once in a while, just real quick, get kind of a quick scan. But there's the number 447549917 tax time, Cowboys. So I'll tell you what, to April something or other is the deadline. I've already got mine done in the end, and it's a done deal. So if you haven't and you need some help, get a hold of Angela Hall over there, hallsonpost.com, 404-754-9917. And do it today, hotshot.
Hey, John, how do I fix a vertical hole in my 13-inch black and white here?
The one I got underneath my desk, I just kick it, Tracy.
A vertical hole on my black and white. That's, you know what, ETV Live, you know. Budget? What budget?
I have to pick it up in regular storage auction, I guess.
All right, not a whole lot of action happening out here on the track. I tell you what, Grigate has moved a little bit closer to Frankie Samanto, and I think Grigate might be just kind of holding steady there for now, as we watch these two guys out in front, and they're turning out just almost equal lap times here, guys. So. And Dwayne Hall, I think Dwayne Hall had probably a little bit longer pit stop. Didn't get out of his pits in time. Fell back to third place back here, but he's holding steady. Larry Malkin moved him back one. Tony Bowling getting around the 27 machine up here. So Tony Bowling moving forward here. But tell you what, James Grigate taking some shots. Can't get it done, but tell you what, he's looking. He's taking a peek as Frankie Samanto. I don't know if he's putting a block on him or what's going on there, guys.
I think that's just Frankie's entry point. He's just continuing to use it. As long as James Grigate ain't got that nose underneath him, might as well keep running his line. You know, it's up to James not to get in the back of him there. Yeah, it looks like Frankie's really having to slow that car up there in the center. And looks like James is able to maybe get on the throttle just a hair second, but actually has nowhere to go with it. He has to wait for Frankie to get moving before he can get going.
You know, you can watch James Grigate up in Grundy, Illinois. I believe April 27th is the date up there at Grundy Speedway. James Grigate, Rookie of the Year, and I believe he missed the first couple of races up there, guys. And then comes out of the first season up there inside that late model car, Rookie of the Year. So don't miss him. Action starts up there in Grundy, Illinois, Grundy Speedway, Friday nights, 8 o'clock, I believe. So keep an eye out for that number 7 machine. But I'll tell you what, he's got it hooked up and doing it right here tonight, guys. I see James Grigate driving a little bit different line than the last time he was here. He's getting it right down tight down there along that apron line down here. And really getting into the turns good, Tracy. So I think Grigate might have spent a little bit of time, or maybe looked at some old replay footage from the last time out here.
Yeah, I probably got a few more laps in the track, because I believe last time they ran here he was pretty busy. And then Tony Mullen got up around the 27 of Larry Mulliken, moved Tony up to 4th position, giving himself a buffer between him and the 3 of Hal Beardsworth. But as we go along, you know, you get a little time runner on the track. Some prevailing minds usually prevail and cool off. So it looks like the guys are just trying to get the grip wherever they can find it. And it looks like that's what James Grigate is. Just trying to find the grip on exit to get underneath Frankie Samanto. And it's just not there right now, JD.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, let's go back here to 5th position back here to 27 car, Larry Malkin. Talk about him for a little bit. I'll tell you what, he was one of the cars to watch here last week, and had his own troubles last week. But I'll tell you what, he started in 4th the last time out, started up in the top 5, but had a kind of a poor finish. Finished in the middle of the pack in 10th here at RSN Raceway Park. So tonight, Larry Malkin running in the 5th place here tonight. We'll see if he can hang on to that and possibly move that 27 car a little bit forward. But other than that, Tracy, no more movement really out here. Tony Bowling worked his way up toward the front, and Hal Beardsworth looks like 27 car might be giving that position up to. Oh, Beardsworth almost sideways. That is absolutely worth a second look. Beardsworth almost sideways, gets it corrected. And I'll tell you what, if he didn't dirty his pants, oh man.
Yeah, JD did a great save. James Griegate got Frankie Shimano up, pushed up off the bottom, and taking that spot. He's being followed by Dwayne Hall and Tony Bowling, looking to possibly get to that spot. Didn't get there to fill the gap, so Frankie Shimano falling all the way back to third position, JD.
Unreal. I'll tell you what, that is some absolute skill being driven in that 3 car. But I'll tell you what, Hal Beardsworth almost getting that thing completely sideways, gets it corrected back, and back pointed in the right direction. So I tell you what, hats off to Hal Beardsworth and that number 3 Goodwrench machine down there. But Balkan falling back here a little bit. Of course, 48 laps in the books here at the park. 125 laps on the board, so plenty of racing coming yet.
Yeah, Frankie Shimano looks like his handling just gone away in that car. He let the 21 of Tony Bowling go, and it looks like he's probably going to let 3 of Hal Beardsworth. His car is getting really loose. Ooh, an exit about got contact with him and Hal Beardsworth to that right rear corner. Not too sure what's wrong with Frankie's car, but it looks like it's really loose on exit, JD.
All right, Frankie Samanto in big trouble here at the park, guys. 50 laps in the books here already, but Samanto in big trouble. And I tell you, we're about what are we, about 34 laps into this from the last one. So still plenty of tire on these machines. As Griegate has found his way out in front. Dwayne Hall in second. There's the whole entire Hauled-On Post team out here in front, Griegate, Hall, and Bowling. But let's go back here to Frankie Shimano and check on him real quick.
Yeah,
looks like. Go ahead,
JD, James Griegate just about lost that car on exit of 2 there. Dwayne Hall really had to jump out of the gas to keep from getting in the back from his Dwayne Hall.
Oh, Tony Bowling
from the 7.
Oh, Tony Bowling in the grass, guys. Tony Bowling, I don't hear the caution coming out, but let me roll it back here and see what happened to Tony. Looks like we're seeing some right rear tires that getting heated up and a lot of loose action here on the track. As he gets loose, takes it down into the grass, saves that machine, makes it back up on the track. Well, that's worth a second look if John hasn't got it up on the e-play yet.
I was actually on his car when he did it the first time, but I'm going to pull it around one more time. We thought Hal Beardsworth was slideways. You ought to see Tony Bowling. I guess it ain't rained here in a while, wherever this track's located, but the grass definitely saved him here. It must not have been wet and slippery and muddy.
Now, you know, the other thing I got to wonder, Tracy, you know, we've only got 10 of them on track here tonight. A little shorter drivers here, so I wonder if they're just doing this. I wonder if they just had like a big team meeting and said, hey, we're on TV tonight, let's give them a show.
Yeah, I tell you, somebody benefiting for all the problems they're having back there is 34 Joe DiPino running in 5th position, JD. Moving his way forward, and his car looks really good. He's on that back bumper of Valerian Mulliken, and Hal Beardsworth ain't too far off. So Joe DiPino looking really good here at RSN Raceway Park.
You bet. I'll tell you what, it ain't over until the piano player finishes playing. So why don't we go ahead and take a quick commercial break? I believe we're going to have some green flag pit stops coming our way just shortly here. So we'll step away and take a break right here. You're watching live ETV Live, Cowboy. It's the only choice hot shot. So RSN Raceway Park with the Hauled-On Post Monday Night All Pro Series. Don't wander off. We'll be right back.
Hard as you can go all the way to the wall, dig, 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 back to the feet. Tires looked awesome too, bud, and then there at the end you were mowing down those guys pretty quick.
Guys bearing down on you 20, hard and fast.
You've been doing an awesome job. We'll get us one tonight.
These cars pulled up. Flag, green flag.
All right, and we are back live, RSN Raceway Park, 61 laps in the books here, guys. And I'll tell you what, it was about 48, 49 laps ago, I guess. I think, Tracy, about lap 14 is when these guys all came in, got tires. So I'll tell you what, we're on the ragged edge now, watching these guys. Dwayne Hall back out to the front. Griegate having his problems as he gets past Hall. Hall back into second. Hal Beardsworth working his way up forward. Joe DePino taking advantage of all that slip, slide, and away stuff out there. Put him in the top 5 and 4th position. Of course, Larry Mulliken, he's just hanging out here, top 5. Frankie Samato, I tell you what, was walking away with this thing from the get-go, slipping all the way back to 7th position. And I tell you what, got to be some tire issues that we're seeing. Right rear tires. You know, the boys down in the garage said, "Hey, look out! You know, as these cars, you know, start wearing tires down, right rear's going to get hot, create some loose conditions," and I believe that's what we're seeing. But back over here in the chat room, I want to say howdy to David Bass. I see you in there. And Nicole Griegate along for the ride here, watching her husband James out here on the track out there in front. But having a good time here at the park, Tracy.
Yeah, it looks like Tony Boland got that right rear cool off as he's slowly making his way back forward. JD gets around Jerry Hinkle car and also Frankie Samano and get a little distant. Looks like Hal Beardsworth was going to be our first taker into pit road. You know, I was just thinking what kind of advantage if you would have hitting pit road early, and if it's going to make that much difference as far as pit stops. You're going to be running such a faster lap time. I would think that would force our leaders and them to get into pit road as soon as possible too.
Yeah, you bet. And I'll tell you what. Oops. Trying to get my calculator to work here. But I got some new batteries for it, and I just haven't figured out how to put them in yet. But anyway, back over here to the chat room over here. They're talking about that 500-mile race last night, Tracy, that we started out. Of course, you had to finish it up for me. I had my own technical problems, but
how convenient, huh, Tracy?
Convenient.
Yeah, first 500-lap race, and he has issues.
He books it, then bails.
You know what I did? You know them guys who usually stand around down there with brooms and dustpans down there. You know, they're picking up trash, you know, popcorn and all that kind of stuff down there. I walked up to one of them. I said, "Hey, how about $20 if you pull the extension cord, pull the plug out of my machine up here in the booth, about an hour and a half in or so?" And he did.
I think they called him JD or Tracy to go help him clean up the scrap metal off the track from all the cautions.
You know, if they only knew that it was JD throwing the peanuts bouncing off their head under there, they would have never done it.
Well, I tell you, that was quite a night, and I know you know it started somewhere around 7 o'clock. It didn't get over until about midnight or something, I think. But a long night. Of course, we're going to have a much shorter one here at the park, as it looks like green flag pit stops underway. Dwayne Hall, first one in, he peels off. He's coming down pit road as he makes his way around trying to get that pony woed up before he hits the commit line. Woo, that was a close one.
Or hit that wall there, JD. Tell you that wall really juts out of you in a hurry. I watch Hal Beardsworth really have to work his way around and not too sure how much damage Hal was able to fix him. I'm sure to keep in pace, there was nothing fixed that time around. And I watched Dwayne Hall do a little drag across the wall. He's coming down, definitely going to get 4 tires and fuel and get back out there. And also Frankie Samano heading down pit road. I'm trying to see if we have any takers. So Frankie Samano's the next one coming down.
We have Frankie Simonto working his way down. Dwayne Hall, 4 tires and fuel. Dwayne Hall on his way out. Greegate signaling for his pit stop. Greegate will be on his way in here as Frank Simonto pulls into his box. 4 tires and fuel for the 22 machine. As green flag pit stops underway here at the park. Greegate working his way 45 miles an hour, finds his pit box down here, going to screech to a halt. Right side's going to come up and put 2 fresh ones on, move around to the left. Up she goes, 4 tires and fuel for the number 7 machine. So tell you what, green flag pit stops underway, Tracy.
And like we like to hear you say, new leader, 34, Joe DePino's taking over the lead with everybody hitting pit road. Looks like his car is still running pretty decent out there, JD, as he just peels down now, heading down pit road to get his car serviced.
And Brian Stewart and the 20 machine on pit road here. It'll be 4 tires and fuel for him. No changes to that machine. He's just holding his own out there, doing a pretty decent job, staying in the top 5 out there. Joe DePino on his way down, 44 miles an hour as he works his way into his pit box. It'll be 4 fresh ones, fuel, and a cup of Joe for him, and off he'll go here just shortly. So new leader, Larry Mulliken, getting his bonus points out here. Jerry Hinkle on his way down pit road with that EUTV Superstore car, as Tony Bowling also making his way.
I'll tell you what, JD, right now it's looking like Hal Beardsworth may come out with the lead as he's ahead of James Greegate out on the track, but James is right there about a car and a half behind him. So look for Hal Beardsworth to be our new leader, guys, as everybody cycles to pit road.
You're back, green flag pit stops on the way here at the park, and I'll tell you what, Jody Johnson still making his way around here. Jody Johnson, I want to give a shout out to him. He does an outstanding job with the RSN weekly race headlines over there on the website, and he takes care of business over here at the ePlay site as well. Jody Johnson, and he's also kind of a part-time employee of ETV Live. He's the local journalist here in the house. So Jody driving that DB Tech Services machine out there tonight in the 14 car. But checking over here in the chat room, and these boys are still talking about that 500-mile race. Of course, we've got another one coming up here. You don't want to miss it. I believe it's going to be on the 25th of February, and I'll tell you what, get ready for that, because we've got a 1-hour pre-race show we're putting together with Nuff World. It'll be pretty interesting. We're going to parallel the history of sim car racing with NASCAR history, and looking to be quite a show over there. Simulcast on the HD Radio Network. I believe, I'm not quite sure which station, or maybe Steve can answer me, which station is the simulcast on, guys? And while we wait for that answer, why don't we go ahead and give them a plug. HD Radio Network, you want to rock your brains out, do it over there. 4 stations to choose from, guys. Everything from that metalhead that Tracy likes listening to that soft rock that us old guys like listening to.
Looks like Dwayne Hall didn't have the pit stop he wanted as he falls down 5 seconds behind Hal Beardsworth and James Greegate, guys.
Must have had the damage repair on down there. A little bit of slip sliding around. He did. I know he had a little bit of contact with a wall out there, but I'll tell you what, 5.5 seconds off the lead. Hal Beardsworth hanging tough out here tonight, guys, at the park. Beardsworth finishing in the top 5 last time here. In fact, it was 5th place as he works himself around Jody Johnson, putting Jody a lap down. Yeah,
Jody gave him plenty of room to get around him as Hal Beardsworth's car handling really good, but we know that coming in about 20-25 laps, keep an eye on that number 3 car to start getting loose as we saw him earlier, but it's very possible he got a hold of that crew chief. They made a slight adjustment for him, hopefully maybe to repair that and give him a little longer run before that happens. But he's got that 7 of James Greegate pretty much right on his bumper, and in 3rd, Frankie Simonto quite a distance behind, and he's being chased down by the 55 of Dwayne Hall, JD.
You bet. And you know, I'm looking back up the list here, Tracy. I don't think that 14 machine has been into the pits yet. So
yeah,
this
not too sure, JD, but I think he did hit the pit road. His car has pretty much been going backwards for a while. Looks like the other guys just missed the setup, and I know he doesn't run as much as a lot of these guys, and doesn't got the setup for this track quite fit right, but it is showing him +1 lap, which I don't understand on the scoring.
But I believe he's going to be a lap down here at the park. But I tell you what, checking the rest of the field here, James Greegate and Hal Beardsworth up here, and tell you what, there's a duo right there. And you've got old Winston Cup, old style up there in the front, and then you've got the young gun back here in that 7 machine, James Greegate. So I tell you what, this ought to be battle like no other, like the OK Corral possibly coming up here. Frankie Samato back up in the top 5 in 3rd position here. But I tell you what, he's 5.5 seconds off the lead up here, guys. So he's got his workout.
Big wiggle by the 3. Hit the apron. Got too much on the apron. Really got really loose there, JD. Good job saving that car. I was just going to do a comparison for everybody. Hal Beardsworth would be like Jeff Burton out there track and James Greegate, Casey Kane.
There you go. I tell you what, James Greegate, move him up 1 notch here. Hal Beardsworth, I tell you what, you know, he's got some pretty good control in that car. We've seen him slip and slide all over this track all night long here. But I tell you what, Hal Beardsworth, he's old school race car driver, so he can wheel that machine pretty good, just like the rest of them. So don't count him out yet. We're still watching Frankie Samato back here and Dwayne Hall. Of course, Dwayne Hall started out on the pole here at the park tonight. 87 laps in the book, scheduled for 125. So I tell you what, we're getting toward the short end of the stick on this one, Tracy. Yeah,
get some great green flag laps. Got our green flag stop. Now I gotta think those guys are gonna stop one more time, JD, as these tires really wear fast here. Looks like it's a fairly abrasive surface here at the RSN Raceway Park. So I would say look at these guys to pit. Well, I bet you it was like 25 laps to go, is my guess, JD.
Yeah, that would probably be my guess too. And tell you what, everything's pretty much status quo. The only battle we had going out there was Beardsworth and Greegate, but Beardsworth's falling about a half a second behind. Of course, collecting himself up there a little bit after that little scare a few laps ago. 89 laps in the books here at the park. Why don't we go ahead and cut away? We'll take a commercial as Frankie Samato now going around Jody Johnson. So we're going to go ahead and cut away, take a commercial break. You're watching it live, ETV Live, cowboy. It's the only choice. The RSN Raceway Park, Monday night, Halls on Post, All Pro Series. Don't wander off. We'll be right back.
Hey dude, are you ready to rock and roll? If that's cool, then you need to do it over at HD Radio Network. HD Radio Network, 4 stations broadcasting 24/7 with everything from metal favorites to the 80s classic rock like legendary Leonard Skinner, Electric Light Orchestra, Foreigner, and bone-rattling, skull-crushing rock and roll on hard driving radio. And partnered with Nuff World Simulation Gaming, check out the HD Radio Network's Nuff Radio with Bear Factory, Stone Temple Pilots, Def Leppard, and a whole lot more. HDRadionetwork.com. Take your pick and rock your brains out, dude.
All right, we are back live. I'll tell you what, Tracy and I trying to work up the calculator here just a little bit, and it looks like they're going to have to pit one more time, Tracy. Pit stops taking place at about lap 66 or so here for a lot of these guys. So by the time we get there, why they're going to have quite a few laps on their tires. So looking for probably one more green flag pit stop here before the night is over. 97 laps in the books here at the park. James Grigay still hanging out up here in front. Hal Beardsworth backing it down here at about 0.6 of a second here a little bit. I got a funny feeling he's just going to ride around here for a little bit, wait for that green flag pit stop to come his way, and then make his move. Frankie Samato, I tell you what, he was the front runner here from the get-go. Quickly from the restart here, took it from Dwayne Hall within about the first 4 or 5 laps, and suddenly started going backwards, handling just absolutely coming out from underneath that car, Tracy, and going clear out the window. So Frankie Samato in the 22 machine trying to work it back, 3.9. He's closing the distance, but I'm wondering if he's going to have enough time.
I was looking at how everybody entered pit road and when they did a JD in position on track. Looks like quite a few of them are got that pit road entrance figured out, making up a lot of time on guys on entry to pit road. If everybody looks at the fairly long entry, and you can make up quite a bit of time. I think that's how Hal Beardsworth was able to get in front of everybody there on that pit stop, even though he stopped early, but was able to outrun them on that corner and gain back more positions. Like we were watching the 34 Joe DePino, 27 Larry Mulligan. We had quite a few cars stay out a lot longer there on the last stop. Might be the fact that they're going to try to push it all the way to the end, guys.
Yeah, that could very well be. And I'll tell you what, Larry Mulligan going past his teammate Frankie Samato. So move Larry Mulligan up a position into third. Frankie dropping back to fourth position back here. But I tell you, it almost looked like Frankie just giving it up there, letting his teammate go on by. Of course, they're driving a different cars tonight. Larry driving in that Harley Davidson machine, but they are teammates on Wednesday nights.
I kind of wondered how much they share maybe in setups on this individual nights, possibly run the same setup. But we know Larry Mulligan very good at saving that car, and Larry is actually one of the guys that stayed out longer there that last time around, JD. So we're going to have to see how that's going to figure out by the end of the race.
Yeah, you bet. Keeping an eye on things out here. 103 laps in the books here, 125 on the board. So we're getting to the bottom end of this one here, as the 20 car of Bryant Stewart right in behind Tony Bowling here. And looks like that's going to be for position here. If Stewart can put it together, he's looking on the inside here. Tony taking that car wide now, and I got to think that the handling, right rear tire probably heating up, and he's trying to keep that 21 machine from getting out from underneath him here at the park. But Tony Bowling looking to hang on to that position here in sixth, as Brian Stewart keeps taking a peek at him, Tracy, and Brian Stewart looking for another position here.
Looks like Dwayne Hall, he's gained up a few more spots after that pit stop as he's following Frankie Samato, closing the gap on Frankie a little bit. Frankie's car looks like it's starting to go away from him again a little bit as Dwayne Hall trying to close that gap here in the later stages of the race. And, 21 of Tony Bolin, he just got around the 20 car there those last couple laps. So Tony making up some time, but a long ways to go to get to that front.
Bad, and I'll tell you what, while we're sitting here, why don't we go ahead and plug the home site here. I'll tell you what, you want to watch this race again? Well, guess what? You can. And you can do it right over at ePlay site, etv-eplay.net. And I'll tell you what, they are piling up over there. There's a couple of weeks worth of videos over there from the broadcast. So I'll tell you what, get over there and check it out, etv-eplay.net. And I'll tell you, you know what, you can download them and burn them onto a DVD. Call your neighbors, your in-laws, your outlaws. Have yourself an ETV party. Corn dogs and Coronas, cowboy. So etv-eplay.net. And one more plug we need to do is we need to thank HD Radio Network for providing the pre-race entertainment here on ETV Live. And I'll tell you, HDRadioNetwork.com, 4 stations to choose from. So I'll tell you what, rock your brains out, cowboy. And I'm still pushing for that country western station. I imagine I'll get it here one of these days.
That sounds like they might set up just tired of hearing from you, JD. Is that what you're thinking?
I'm hoping. I'm hoping.
Looks like I think Jody Johnson, I think he's parked that car for the evening as he's fell back 9th place is back now, JD. I'm not too sure if he'll be back out on the track. They're at 110 laps of 125, 15 to go.
15 to go, so, you know, we're banking on some of these guys possibly making some pit stops here. Hal Beardworth has fallen off to a 2.5 behind James Greegate. Remember, Hal had to give it up, had no choice. Here about 15, 20 laps ago, had that little slip. As looks like he's still getting a little bit loose coming off the turns here, going down the front stretch. But a second, let's call it a 2.5 in behind James Greegate. So James Greegate may have the upset here tonight that he was looking for. Last time out here at RSN Raceway Park, that 7 car didn't fare so well.
Yeah, it looks like he got some more practice on the track, got things figured out. But I tell you, James did have a lot of competition early in this race. Didn't necessarily have the best car, but due to pit stops and just situations coming out on top at the moment. Still got 13 laps to go, or 13 laps to go out there, JD. You never know what could happen here in these later stages of run.
Yeah, you got that right. There's Jody Johnson's still sitting in pit road down there, so got a funny feeling that might be some heavy damage to that car, and he hasn't pushed it behind the wall yet. But we'll keep an eye on that situation. But I'll tell you what, James Greegate, Hal Beardwood, Larry Mulliken, Frankie Samato is out here in the front. Dwayne Hall, top five. But I'll tell you what, Mulliken is going after Beardworth, doing it hard here, trying to take a peek here, look up on the outside, look on the inside. Can't get it done as Beardworth gets a good run off the turn and into the wall. Beardworth into the wall. Larry Mulliken followed him right in, Tracy.
Yeah, I tell you, but Larry didn't even hit the wall nearly as hard as Hal didn't. Tell you, Hal isn't leaving a whole lot of room for Larry on the bottom, but it looks like Larry Mulliken's going to get the pass made here. Tell you, Hal doing a lot of damage to that right front fender, guys. Going to try to come back after, but I think Hal pretty much used that car up.
Mulliken hard into the turn, slips up about a half a lane up here to the outside, but I'll tell you what, managed to stay out in front of Beardworth. 10 to go here at Raceway Park. No pit stops coming yet, but we had a funny feeling there might be a few, but nothing yet. As Greegate still your leader out here, move Mulliken up into second position. 2.1 seconds in behind. Don't know if there's enough time, Tracy, even without the pit stops, for Mulliken to catch Greegate as he's working that 27 machine over big time, trying to close the distance. But Beardworth taking that heavy hit into the wall. I'll tell you what, that's got to upset the confidence here a little bit as Beardworth gets the handling back on that number 3 machine.
Yeah, I'm watching the line. Larry's making in there. I tell you, he's turning in kind of, looks like a little late and trying to get a run off the corner for the straightaway. He just cut off almost 0.2 of a second that lap, JD. But it looks like he said, we're going to run out of time. We got 7 laps to go, and he's a 1.7 seconds behind. So doing the math there, he's going to come up a little short.
Yeah, you bet. I'll tell you what, they're starting to wind down here at the park. But I'll tell you what, Dwayne Hall desperately trying to get his machine to move forward. That 55 machine sitting back here in 5th. Remember, he started out on the pole here. And I think what upset him for the night was a poor pit stop earlier, as he didn't get back out. He was the leader going in. He came out in 3rd and pretty much going backwards since. So Dwayne Hall, there's no way that he's going to be able to make up that time to get back up there in the front. But I tell you what, James Greegate, Larry Mulliken closing the distance now about 1.3 seconds in back of Greegate. I don't think he's going to be able to make it. 5 laps to go here at Raceway Park. Angela Hall in the house. Angela, welcome once more to the ETV Live booth.
Well, hey there, how y'all doing?
We all are doing just fine. Hey, it's tax season. Angela Hall's on post. Taxes, what do we need to do real quick in about 30 seconds?
I'll tell you what, if you'll email me, I'll send you a cute little itemized list that you can start checking things off as they come in and make sure you're ready to go when you go through your tax preparer.
Angela, see that table right behind you there? That's me, JD's, Tracy's, all the ETV broadcasters. That's all our paperwork right behind you, that big stack there.
And I got
if you get started on that, it'd be great.
I'll just apologize now. It'll save time.
All right, Angela's got her work cut out for her. Ambushing her here up in the ETV Live booth. 3 laps to go here at the park. Angela Hall joining us up here in the booth. I tell you what, always glad to have Angela up here. I tell you what, she's a kick. But and no kidding, folks, it is tax time. So as the laps wind down, 2 laps to go here at RSN. Oh, Samanto getting out of shape here. That might have had contact from Beardsworth, guys. Frankie Samanto out of shape. Beardsworth up into the wall again. I tell you what, this is going to be a wild finish, if nothing else. As Larry Malkin closing the distance on James Greegate. Don't think he's going to be able to put it together. Last lap, white flag is out. Greegate out in front, guys. I'll tell you what, he might have this one in the bag. Coming down the backstretch, heading into turn 3. It's going to be James Greegate last time around. I'll tell you what, Larry Malkin isn't going to be able to close the distance. 0.7 of a second off. Can't do it. James Greegate coming towards the start-finish line. And it's going to be James Greegate, Larry Malkin, Hal Beardsworth, Samanto, and Hall for your top 5, guys.
Yeah, I tell you what, a great finish to this race. I've been trying to roll it back here, JD, and see what happened with Frankie Samanto there and Hal Beardsworth. Looks like Frank just got really hard in that corner and really had to jump on the binders to keep from running into the back of that 3-car, guys.
I tell you, great effort by a lot of these guys. And I'll tell you what, the Good Hands Awards got to go to that number 3 car, Hal Beardsworth. Quite a few times we've seen him get just absolutely, completely out of shape and manage to keep that car pointed forward and in the right direction. And I'll tell you what, we'll have to mention that during the podium here, the podium interviews.
Post-race show?
Yeah, the post-race show, whatever you call it.
Or pre or after.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, 125 laps here at Raceway Park. James Greegate going to take the big one home here tonight. And I'll tell you what, I believe that's 3 in a row for him, if I'm not mistaken. So as we get set for the post-race show, we're going to go ahead and take a commercial break. We'll come back and bring it to you live, the Halls on Post Monday Night All-Pro Series. So sit tight, cowboy. Don't wander off. We'll be right back. Whoa there, cowboy. Ain't no need to get the hammers out and tear it all up. What you need to do is get a hold of David Bass, DB Tech Services. Technology support offered at a price affordable to most churches, not-for-profits, and individual customers. I'll tell you what, David Bass, IT specialist, over 5 years at the corporate level. Hey man, computer maintenance, hardware and software upgrades. I'll tell you what, David Bass DB Tech Services, established specifically to provide lower cost options to churches and non-profit organizations. So put the hammer away, dude. Get a hold of David Bass. DB Tech Services, dbtechservice.com. All right, welcome back, folks. And I'll tell you what, we're going to do something a little bit different. The Monday Night Halls on Post, Monday Night All-Pro Series here at Raceway Park. Angela Hall in the booth with us tonight, and we're going to turn the microphone over to her and let her interview James Greegate. Angela?
You are? Wow, okay.
Ask him how his race went.
Angela, the notes are right underneath the table in that drawer.
Hello, I got this. James Greegate. James Greegate, it's always a pleasure to watch you race, and I just don't think there's a track out there that you just can't get your wheels on. I mean, you did a great job. I heard from the grapevine that this might be a little tough track for you. I guess that wasn't the truth.
No, we've only run here once before, and we ran pretty well the last time. Just a matter of getting used to the track, and I couldn't really get a good grip on it overall. Luckily, I got a good chance to get behind Frank that very first long green flag run we had, and I kind of followed his line, learned his line, and basically rode that all the way. It was good on tires. It was good on overall for the long run for us, and led a lot of laps. I think we led the most laps, got the win, and brought the Halls on Post number 7 back into victory lane.
Well, you know, that's where I love to see my sponsorship cars. Love to see them in winners' circles. James, do you have anybody you want to thank?
Well, yes, I do. I'd like to start by thanking Halls on Post and obviously Angela. Halls on Post Accounting and Tax Services. It's tax season. Ours is all bundled up, ready to be sent off to Halls on Post for a great return. Looking forward to that. I'd like to thank my wife, Nicole, for all her support. My teammates, Dwayne and Tony and Kyle. You know, obviously this setup was a joint effort, I think, mainly by Dwayne. So again, thank you, Dwayne, for your help on that, and Tony for always helping us with everything. Got to also thank everybody at ETV. You guys are awesome. Thank you very much, and looking forward to next week.
Well, you're a class act, James Grigay. We love watching you race and watching you overcome the challenges on these tracks, and you know, we wish the best for you for the rest of the season. I know I sure do.
Thank you very, very much.
All right, and I'll tell you what, catch James Grigay on Friday nights up at Grundy, Illinois. I'll tell you what, he drives the hell out of that number 7 machine up there, too, for real. And it's going to be starting, I believe it's on April 27th, if I'm not mistaken, 8 o'clock up there at Grundy Speedway. So check it out up there when you get a chance. In the meantime, I've got Larry Mulliken down here. I'll tell you what, Larry, what a race you put up here tonight. Finishing second behind James Grigay. Good effort. Qualified third. Tell us about your race, bud.
Well, I tried a whole new setup here, and I think I found something here. I'm surprised I really ran down the field here, get second place, and I'm really surprised.
We know what last time out you started 4th here, but slipped back. You finished 10th, and you had something different tonight for sure. But I'll tell you what, closing the distance on James Grigay, did you think you had it, or was just time just running away on you?
Time was running away. I just maybe stayed out just a lap too long, but I needed to lead a lap here for keeping the points here, so I just maybe stayed out just a little too long. So that's the way things go, but I needed about 5 more laps. I would have been at his bumper.
You bet. I'll tell you what, the outstanding run, class act, as always, coming out of that 27 machine. Any shout-outs out there you want to give?
I got to give a shout-out to Dragon Motorsports, where we're leading on Wednesday night. Hope we can keep the lead. And to my teammate Frank and that. And up in the booth there, Mr. Bass and Mama D.
There you go. There you have it. I'll tell you what, Larry Mulliken, he's sitting 5th in the overall points, finishing 2nd tonight behind Grigay. Tracy, I'm going to throw it on down to you. I understand you've got Hal Beardworth standing by.
Yeah, guys, I'm down here with Hal Beardworth once again up here on the podium. 2 weeks in a row, Hal. Looks like I said, we've got that horseshoe pointed the right direction. Had a little incident tonight, but tell you what, you recovered and great run tonight, Hal.
Thanks, Tracy. Yeah, we got a little dinged up early there, but the car wasn't too bad. And threw some tires on it, and it was running pretty good throughout the race. I just have to learn a little better from Sean Brown on how to save tires. We might do a little bit better.
Yeah, it looked like you pretty much got in there early, and looks like you made up a lot of time, and them guys in the pit stop pulled off, or your team pulled off a great one to get you back out there, and you ended up bleeding. And the question is, do you think that extra 3-4 laps you had on them tires might have made the difference?
Yeah, it probably did, but I was falling so far back with the damage that I had, I kind of forced the issue to make all the leaders pit, even though it was 3 or 4 laps later. But you're probably right, Tracy. We were about 3 or 4 laps short on tires, but we hung on there. Almost lost it a couple times. Frankie saved me a couple times.
Yeah, I tell you what, we had the camera on you right when that first twitch you had out there had a pretty sideways. Great save. Good hands award for that one. Is there any thanks you'd like to give out there, Hal?
Yeah, I'd like to thank ETV for broadcasting, Halls on Post for sponsoring the series, my ex-wife for taking my house.
All right, guys, that's your 3rd place finisher, right? 3 of Hal Beardworth.
And she took all my beer, too.
You know, it's always a kick to have Hal Beardworth up here in the booth. We need to do that more often. Well, maybe not quite so often, but often. But I'll tell you what, Angela Hall in the house with us tonight. Glad she was along for the ride. And I want to put another plug before we get out of here. Angela Hall, Halls on Post, tax season, cowboy. Get your paperwork in. Email her. You can get it all over there at hallsonpost.com. and check it out and get rolling on that. But Tracy, RSN Raceway Park, second time over here. James Grigay taking another one home. And I swear the kid has got to have a billion trophies on that shelf up there at home. But outstanding run for him. And I'll tell you what, a little redemption after finishing in the middle of the pack last time out.
Yeah, we could call him GJ, but we might end up calling him JJ the way he's running out there. Pretty much winning everything. Did a great job. Tell you, I enjoy this RSN Raceway track. Looks like it really puts on a good show, and once you got a setup on there, the things seem to run really good. And you tell you what, JD, we got a few people who like to thank tonight. They'd like to thank True Gravity Arts Design for designing the RSN website, Hall on Post for sponsoring the Hall on Post Monday night series, and also the ETV live chat room and the post race show. I'd like to thank DB Tech Service sponsoring the Saturday Night Thunder series, Arca League Manager for managing the points, and also the Sim Factory for producing a great game like Arca Sim Racing.
And how about HDRadioNetwork.com? I'll tell you what, they're providing the pre-race entertainment for ETV Live. Rock your brains out, cowboy. HDRadioNetwork.com. How about the nation itself? RaceTheMNation.net. You want to strap one of these babies on, come over here and play in these guys' backyard, you can do it. RaceTheMNation.net. This is one of the best group of online racers I've ever encountered in the 15 or 20 years that I've been doing this. But another thank you goes out to Jody Johnson, ETV Live journalist for the RSN Weekly Headlines. I'll tell you what, he gives John a big help over there at the home side as well. How about ETV Live's executive producer, John Wessling? Jesse James calls him the legend, and the legend he is here on ETV Live. Trackmaster Dwayne Hall, I'll tell you what, this cat has got it down. I don't know if he's got an engineering degree or what, but I'll tell you what, Dwayne Hall, the Trackmaster, for reworking these tracks for the nation. And, of course, my co-host on Monday nights and any other night of the week for the most part, Tracy Flip Robinson. And then last but not least, all the drivers here at the nation. I'll tell you what, if it weren't for them, we'd probably be sitting around up here, Tracy, playing tiddlywinks. But I'll tell you what, thanks to everybody, all the Enough World guys, Nicole, Mama D, Danny, everybody over there in the chat room, Lacey, for joining us and watching the race. If you want to catch some more action live here on ETV Live, Wednesday night for all you late-night racing fans, No Bull Racing at Texas, 11 o'clock here on ETV Live. And on Thursday Night Thunder, Jesse the Outlaw James. I'll tell you what, some hot action happening this week. And then, of course, on Saturday night, the VSR Harold Lowry Super Speedway Series live on ETV Live. So, hey, check it out over at etv-eplay.net. So for all the gang here in the booth from RSN Raceway Park and ETV Live, we'll see you next time.